Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how to use .gitignore in Git. So first of all, what is gitignore? Gitignore is a file where you list the files and folders that Git should ignore. So that means that any file or folder listed inside this file or .gitignore will not be tracked, staged, or committed to your Git repository. All right, so let me go inside VS Code. And let me just do a dir here. So I have these files, and to show you that this is a Git repository, I can show you that I have the .get here folder. So this is the root Git repository. Okay. So let me clear the screen. Okay, so just to follow these steps, I'm just going to get init again. So this is how you initialize, or to basically say that you want to make this folder as a Git repository. Okay, so it says reinitialized existing Git repository, and this is the location. Okay, so that's done. So the next step is to create a .gitignore file in the root of your project. So hint, the root is the same directory where the hidden.get folder is located. So this is where I'm going to create the .ignore file. Okay. So let me just copy and paste this. So I don't have to type it. So new file there. So this is the file. Okay. So the next step is add files, folders, or patterns you want Git to ignore. Open the gitignore file in your preferred editor. So I did that here in VS Code. So example entries for common use cases are these. So ignore all .log files. So all the log files usually ends in .log. Ignore nodes modules folder. So this is just a folder. Ignore environment variable files. So this is a environment variable files or file. Okay, but before I do that, let me actually show you what's happening now. So get status. So you can see here that I got all these files under untracked files. So meaning Git can still see these files. So it says use get add file to include in what will be committed. So I don't want, for example, I don't want password.pyc test.txt and this file here to be tracked or to be added into the staging area or to be committed. So that's the purpose of this file. So all the folders or files listed inside this file will not be tracked, staged, or committed to your Git repository. So let me just follow this. So .file. So I'm going to add .log and this folder here and this file here. Actually, I don't have this file, but I'm going to, actually I can remove it. It's just an example. So I do have the, actually this is also needs to be test folder, right? Because that's the actual folder that I have. And then I can say, I can add .pyc, right? .text. So all these files here. I don't have .log, so I'm not going to add that. So just three. So folder, there's a folder and these files. Okay, so let's try to do a, get status again. Okay, so I think I should add asterisk. So meaning any characters before these extensions will be ignored. Okay, so let me do get status again. Okay, that worked. So our gitignore file is working. So now we don't see the .pyc file, .txt file, and the folder in the untracked files. So Git is not seeing these files. All right, so the next step is, so save the file and check ignored files using get status. So we've done that. So if a file was already committed, Git will still track it to stop tracking a file that's now in run. Okay, so this is a scenario where you added a file already and Git is tracking it. you can use this command and you can use this command and basically commit the change that you did. So actually let me try this to just demonstrate this. So I should see the .text now. So status, the test.text file. Okay, I can see that here. So now I can do get add dot, so meaning all the files, get status. So now these are the changes that need to be committed. So this file and this file. So let me actually try to commit these changes. So added, get ignore, and test, get status. Okay, so we don't have things to commit or files to commit. Working tree clean. All right, so let me try this. I'm going to run this command. I'm gonna say test.txt or text. Okay, done. And get status again. So untracked file. So okay, so now we can, so let me just follow this step here. Stop tracking file. Okay, get status again. So untracked files. So now I can actually say, I can add that asterisk.text again to so get will not track it. So get status, try again. Oops, incorrect. There. Okay, so we don't see the .text or test.text file. All right, so step number 6 is commit your .getignore file so others can use it too. So the reason why we are doing this is because if we want to push our code into GitHub, for example, the .ignore file will be pushed as well. So let me do that. So changes not a stage for commit. So I'm gonna do get add dot get status. Okay. So now I can say get status. Get commit m added ignore done. Get status. Okay, good. So I'm going to try to push this into GitHub and see what happens. Okay, it looks like it worked. So now I can go into GitHub, which I already have open here. Refresh the page. And now we have this gitignore added. Okay, so and there is a tip here. So this is how you include specific files from ignored folders. And that's how you do it. And this is how you put a comment in the getignore file. My understanding is if you do it this way in the getignore file, get will be able to track this file. In other words, you are just basically excluding this from the getignore file or removing it from that file. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.